Hi everyone, this is That's So Random. I'm Erin, and today we're going to kind of roast. Well, I'm gonna roast work that I've done before I actually started this channel because it's May and it's been a year since I actually started this channel. I have a small number of subscribers, but that doesn't bother me because I'm doing this because I want to have videos out of stuff that I make. So let's get started. This is gonna be bad. If you hear paper, I have notes. So the first one is gonna be my actual first sewing project ever with the sewing machine. This project was actually done on my mother-in-law's sewing machine. Because the sewing machine that I use, I had it, but for some reason it wasn't used because it hadn't been serviced, so it needed to be serviced because it had a lot of problems. So this was my first sewing project ever on a machine with a real real pattern. So with this one, I cut it out too big because I went off the pattern size, but I didn't go off of the finished garments. I don't know if that pattern has it. So it was too big. I used stretchy fabric, so that also made it a little bit bigger because it stretched out. The problem was, it's just so funny. The problem was when I went to put so I had the midriff and the top put on, but when I went to put the midriff to connect it to the skirt, the midriff got caught while I was sewing. So there was a bunch of holes in it. There's so many holes in it that I actually had to take it to a friend's mom to fix it for me. And I don't wear it because I never felt proud of it enough. And then it wasn't really my style because it was in white, and I really don't wear white. So, okay. And that was in 2013. So in 2016, this has already been a year since I started cosplaying. With my cosplays, I tended to buy pieces and then put them together because I didn't know how to sew. So this is one of those where I had bought the piece. It was a long sleeve bodysuit, but I didn't need the long sleeves, but I did need a part of the sleeve at the lower end of my forearm. So I had cut it, and because I didn't want to use a sewing machine after what happened in 2013, and I don't like to hand sew because my hand sewing is really bad, I used E6000 to create the hems or the parts where it was folded. You can kind of see it. It was so bad. Still in 2016, different con. Me and Martha did Poison Ivy as Batman and Harley Quinn as Robin. I did the same thing. I bought these long shiny pants because I was going off an image that I had seen and I cut the pants and I glued them instead of sewing them. It's so bad. So bad. Also with our ties for our capes, they were sewn on so badly with the rivet. It's a mess, but we'll talk about all this at the end. Still in 2016, I finally decided to use a sewing machine. Finally decided to use it. My sewing machine had been, I think it had already been serviced or something, but I had used it to sew myself a circle skirt with a waistband. You can't see it in the photo, but the zipper was put in fine, surprisingly. The waistband, I, for some reason, twisted the waistband and it's got a notch. I don't know where the skirt is. I'd show you pictures, but that's what happened. I twisted and it got this weird bump in the front, like the front side, but still it was in the front. So bad. My hem was actually pretty decent, a little wonky, but it was pretty good. 2017. So I'm a little bit more adventurous into my sewing. I'm like, I can do this. I do Superman because we were going to do this big group cosplay, and I was originally going to be Batman, but things didn't work out, so it was Superman instead. Which is funny because I actually did the Batman cape around the same time as the Superman cape, but for some reason they're in 2 different years. And I'm doing this, I think, by when I had actually worn them to cons and to other things. So for Superman, we did it for WonderCon in Anaheim. And I used blue twill tape to attach the cape that would go under the arm and attach to the back of me with like bicycle helmet clips. I don't know what they're called. But used one of those. I realize now I probably shouldn't have used the blue twill tape. And not even red twill tape either. I feel like I should have used more of a nude tone or some sort of like tone that would have gone well with my skin tone. Even though it was going to be for someone else to wear at the con, but they couldn't get tickets, so that's why I was Superman. But you know, and then the hem again, it was decent. It wasn't perfect, but I did use the sewing machine, so that's good. We're gonna go to 2017 still. Cersei and Wonder Woman. Probably the cosplay that we tried the hardest on and probably failed the most on. So Martha and I both had foam armor, and because it was so hot, the foam started, not the foam, but the glue that we had for the foam started to melt. It started to melt. Poor Martha, because we did hers more last minute than mine, so mine had time to actually physically cure. Hers fell apart. We had to physically stitch her in to her cosplay. Her skirt, because it was a pleather and it doesn't fray, all I did was take an elastic that fitted her waist, and I sewed on the pieces, and it sits underneath her armor and you don't see it. Mine was done the same way, but when I went to hem it, I didn't want to use a sewing machine. For some strange reason, I didn't want to use a sewing machine. I hand sewed it. It's so wonky, and it's just so bad, and it's thick, and I didn't even iron it. Oh my gosh, it just a mess. Now let's get to Batman in 2018, when me and Martha were Batman and Robin for a Long Beach con. The hood for my head, too big. Like, you could just tell in the back of the head, it was just too big. It did not fit me whatsoever. But then it was too tight around the neck. So I actually had to clip into the neck and then put hooks and eyes. The hooks and eyes were white. They were white. And what I did, I decided to put puffy paint. Black puffy paint in hopes to hide it. Shiny puffy paint. Like, what was I thinking? So bad. Then also with Batman, when I did the cape, I didn't hem it at all. So, you know, that. It was see-through because I didn't do lining, and I didn't even finish my edges or my seams, the frayed. Even though it didn't fray, I didn't finish it. Like I couldn't. What was I thinking? I mean, I get it. I'm still learning and stuff like that, but like, it's just crazy how like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it like this and it'll be fine, and it looks decent, but it could have been better. But I know that now. I didn't know that then. 2019, Not Too Gray. This is like the biggest project, but just in general, because I sewed all of it. I sewed my full outfit. I sewed Martha's outfit except for the bandages. You know, she bought bandages, but I sewed everything. Let's start with the jackets. The jackets were a little big, but we wanted that. That's what we wanted. And we wanted them to kind of flare too. Martha had hers a little bit more fitted because that's what she was into, and like, that's fine. I did not finish the edges of the straps, not the straps, where the sleeve and the jacket body met, so it's fraying there because I didn't know. And so, but it was lined on the inside, so like, you didn't have the frayed edges there. It was only up against your body that people couldn't see it. My shorts. And I didn't do a double hem, I did a single hem, so it'll flip and you'll get the frayed edges coming off the shorts, because I accidentally made them too short originally. And if you saw, oh my gosh, yeah, it was too short, and so I couldn't make it. I didn't want to make it any shorter, and the waist belt was too big. I made it too big because I didn't know about, again, still didn't know about sizing. So I took it in, and I didn't put boning in it because it asked for boning. It's just a mess. The one good thing was that Martha's pants short thingies, they turned out okay. I did line them, but I lined them with the original pattern that I had made because they were too short for her. She did not want them that short. She wanted them longer. She wanted them at her knee. So we lined them because it was super see-through, which is great. Yeah, it's just so bad. The reason why I'm doing this is because I've grown so much by just being able to watch other people in this community sew and talk about what should be done, and like I'm getting better, and I want people to see that like you're not going to be perfect right away. I definitely wasn't. I'm still not. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do things. I still can't even fully get a pattern right sometimes. Like when I get it, sometimes it's still too big or it's too small, or I'm still learning. But yeah, I'm just, I'm here. I want people to see, everyone does have to learn from somewhere, and that's why I'm also roasting my previous stuff, because it's funny. To me, it's funny because it's like I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? But, yeah, so, if you liked hearing my story of my wackiness before I actually started my channel, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. If you want to stick around and see other videos I make of other sewing projects I make, go ahead and hit subscribe. Will be making my graduation dress pretty soon. I'm really excited about that, and yeah, it's gonna so funny. And then I can't wait for another year of hopeful learning and growing and becoming better at sewing. So see you guys hopefully around next time.